I am getting word, chat, that another Ethan Klein video has hit the feed from Kuncan. The Future of Creator Discourse, Legal Threats and Narcissism. And it's about creator clash, and about the lawsuits, about Noah Samson, Hassan, etc. Refugee here. Hi. Hi, welcome, refugees. So let's get into it, shall we? Because I really wanted to. I also saw this. I didn't get a chance to watch it. Unfortunately I've been going outside, which has been terrible. It's been great for like my mental, but it's been terrible for everything else because I just want to sit home and play video games. But I did climb from bronze to plat in like 2 days in Rivals. So not for nothing. I did do that. But skin review, dude. I'm like trying so hard to not get that Luna Snow skin, and I want to so bad. So bad. Okay. Before this, there was this thing that I saw that I kind of wanted to watch, and I don't think I've seen it. Ethan again seemed like he was falling apart in SYNT 133. He goes after Taylor Lorenz to pull his audience for stats. Slanders Mike from PA, even relitigates the Will Smith slap in a very culturally relevant and timely manner. Recap with commentary for discussion and transformative purposes. So let's see.
Wings and views and support from sponsors and all this stuff, but it's because of you guys that we have a rock solid foundation that we can weather any storm. He hasn't peed since he got here.
Maybe take him out?
Just follow him around. If he pees, then euthanize him.
Ethan asks his crew to watch his dog for urinating in the office.
I need to teach them somehow.
What?
Yeah, keep an eye on him. Little rascal. Again, here for members, we don't have to worry about getting claimed, despite doing fair use, obviously. But one's called Pretty Girls, which is like, bro, how old is Will? He's like almost 60. There's been lots of accusations leveled against our audience that we're incels, that we're right-wing incels. And I want, well, I'm getting to a point, Dan.
Okay.
My point, I want to do a poll.
There's also just 6,000 members. This is not really.
Well, I mean, that's enough of a sample size.
So it's in this poll, it's 60% female, and behind the scenes, it's 55.2.
Yeah, that's kind of what that's kind of where I thought it was. So Taylor Lorenz, 60% women. Sorry, women don't like you either, girl. Nobody likes you, actually. And then
I have to say that like attacks on Taylor Lorenz have been a little bit crazy. And it's been like unrelenting, which is, again, it's a little bit crazy. And when people talk about his current audience being like more sexist or incel-y than they've ever been, it's just because it's true. I mean, literally go to the replies of any of the women that he targets or attacks on his show. And like the replies are just filled with incels, like totally filled with incels.
You straight? Are you hetero or what? I don't know what's.
Wait, I'm pausing. Hold up. Wait. All right. Continuing.
Cis or wild?
Well, it's different.
Are you cis or weird and wild?
Yeah.
That's not actually asking the
cis
question
or
that you're trying to-
LGBTQ?
That's not
No,
right
those
either.
are
Cis just
different.
means not trans, essentially.
Cis means-
that's specific
Oh.
to like
Yeah.
the
I thought that was like your assigned gender
Hetero.
and
exactly.
sexual.
So it's a gender thing, but you could be
So
cis
just
and gay.
heterosexual?
Yeah.
Are you gay? Yes
Are
or no?
you
Are
gay?
you part of the
I mean,
LGBTQ+
listen. At the end of the day, the question is this: are you gay or straight?
Here, just say
I
yeah.
got all the what they flock to me.
It's 40% yes.
Sorry, this chat message is really funny. Not to be mean, but being an outsider and not knowing who any of you were till a week ago, you all call him an asshole. But from what I've seen, you guys are the assholes. Hassan is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. And you guys are all super fucked. Oh, did you get that from Ladyboy Mindset? I can tell. Did You've been watching some Ladyboy Mindset. Oh, he knows all the strats, dude. He knows everything you need to know about the Philippines and Thailand when it comes to ladyboys. He is, by his friend, noted an expert. So, yeah.
40%?
Super
chill,
gay.
dude.
Wow.
You chill like that.
What?
And you're willing to learn, girl.
Holy shit, dude. 40% Taylor Lorenz, bro.
Uh-oh.
I'm a gay icon.
I'm kind of well.
I think I am. Must be a gay icon.
Back it up, maybe just a
I
little
think
bit.
I must be.
We're gay media. Gay media, bro.
We're gay media. All right, back in the closet, freaks.
Yeah, it's probably
They've been commanded back in the closet by their gay icon.
I'm trying to think how we can
They're very, like,
capitalize on
progressive.
this.
Yeah, how
let's
can
get
I
some merch
how can I
going.
profit from this?
T-shirts.
How can I make money from this? Did that seem sexual? The finger move?
Huh?
I guess it could be.
It's felt vulgar to me. Like, when have you ever waved to someone like that?
He's trying to like
Okay, we're back. We're back on the Will Smith. Why? I don't understand the Will Smith hate. I don't really get it. It's very bizarre to me. Okay, and then we're back on this.
Just to show you how your little sister from him. To show this
I'm
mic
watching
from
it on my
PA.
other computer.
He's a pig.
well,
He's
they hate each
embarrassing
other,
her. I'm sorry, but how old are you, bro? Who talks like that? Yeah, I hit. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
grow up, man.
This is coming from the guy who has the audience that only knows how to make poop and fart jokes.
Sorry, dude. There's a reason I have 60% female audience. Weird, strange love, where the guy who's in love with his car.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, there was an episode with Mike where he put a little fuckhole into the back of his couch.
I thought they
really?
pulled it.
Yeah.
Actually, Williams got a restraining order.
Oh man, what a loser! What a repulsive loser this guy is. I mean, bro, you look in the mirror. If I was Mike, I would remove mirrors from my home. Because I don't know how you can maintain dignity or self-respect while also recognizing.
You're talking about mirrors in your house when you have a tattoo of your wife's face that she doesn't like. It's crazy work. That's I would be way more traumatized seeing that than I think Mike would ever be about seeing a mirror.
What you look like and who you are in the mirror every day.
Please.
Olive, you're not ripping on the carpet, are you? Olive, hey.
Did you once say that you got rid of like all of your mirrors and you didn't look in them for like a full year or something?
I did. Yes, in high school, my last 2 years in high school, I did some kind of it sounds really unhealthy and bad, but it worked.
Really?
I stopped looking at pictures of myself or in the mirror for 2 years. I stopped caring because it was so depressing every time. Good as you can be. If you're busted like me, the best alternative you can be is be confident.
That's
You told me 10 years you'll buy me a Rolex.
This is terrible advice. Do not take that advice. This is terrible advice. Oh my God.
So.
if you.
Everybody's 10-year anniversary who works on the show, I will buy a Rolex.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Yeah, Zach.
Listen, I'm not going to say what it costs, but this is this is right in the realm of, nice watch area, okay?
This is it.
Explain.
Okay.
This has the day of the month. Fuck. It's just a cornball watch.
This has been my #1 criticism, actually. I hate when people buy expensive watches, but the rest of their fit is hideous. I'm sorry, dude. You can't pair you cannot do that. You can't pair really expensive stuff with your pajamas and be like, see? It's like XQC, yeah, XQC being I have your whole house on my watch. Oh, dude, stop. Oh, stop, dude. Stop. Unless you're wearing the Adidas tracksuit, you can't. You just can't, dude. And also, this is maybe, I don't know. Listen, I think a watch is not nice just because it's expensive. There are a lot of expensive watches that look really nice, but not every expensive watch looks nice. I'm sorry. I disagree. But okay, moving on. I just wanted to see what that clip was about. I did want to watch this this video though. Shall we? Shall we? Buckle in, chat. It's a 40-minute video, so it'll only take me about like a 12-hour stream to get through this. Should only take me about like maybe 1 day, 2 days, maybe. So we lock the fuck in and let's go.
If you thought I was joking, I hope those 3 copyright lawsuits put that thought to rest. Because every one of you motherfuckers that I said I'm coming for, that I hold responsible, guess what? It's only a matter of time.
Hi, Inner Circle. If you're a lot like me, then you enjoy watching social media content creators. I like a lot of them. I am one sometimes. I'm inspired a lot by what they do. But, oh my god, if influencer isn't the most ironically perfect double-edged sword term for what it is that they do. A lot of these creators do this for money. That's not a surprise, and it's reasonable. I think the reason
I'm beginning to suspect you're doing this for some kind of show.
Most of us do our jobs is for money, but there is a difference between doing it for money and doing it for the money. And there are some times where that distinction is more important to make than others. Today, specifically, I want us to look at the content of public figures disagreeing with each other and how a certain topical example right now has helped change it from what was once the disagreement of opinions and the exchange of ideas into a ego-driven smear campaign making immense profit that is threatening people's actual careers. And secondly, my personal goal for this video is to avoid saying anything that could be clipped out of context and used against me in court. And sadly, yes, the two topics are very related. But first, let's go over a rundown of the story so far and see why I would think it is a bad precedent to set. So the most prominent ongoing discourse to come from the creator space recently is between Hassan Piker, the political streamer and homeowner, and H3, the podcast host and former commentary channel. These two previously co-hosted a political podcast together called Leftovers that was abruptly discontinued when they disagreed on the topic of the Gaza genocide by Israel, with Hassan standing vehemently in favor of Gaza and H3 supporting the IDF. But them splitting is only where this starts, because since then, whenever Hassan spent time on his stream covering a topic from Gaza, H3 would dedicate his own content to aggressively reacting to whatever he'd say, claiming...
Most recently, the absurd one was like the comments about, hi, Meerkat, Meerkat. The comments about Superman, that was like very forced. That was weird. I don't know if you guys saw that.
It doubled as a slight at himself. Other political content creators around Hassan's orbit would comment on this cycle, leading to H3 focusing in on them as well and labeling them as his opponents, dedicating his content to covering their movements as well. Every time an Israeli attack gave these political creators something new to cover, H3 would use those videos within his own content by reinterpreting their commentary as direct attacks on his personal character towards his previous involvement. Meaning to this day...
At Denims, I wish anybody thought about me as much as Ethan thinks about Hassan, says a chatter. Yeah, for real.
Israel relentlessly bombs citizens in Palestine, Yemen, Syria, and everywhere else their Holocaust spreads, which means whenever these creators speak out on it, H3 spins it as a continuation of his discourse. What could have been an isolated incident of two large figures clashing in opinion has become a 2-year timeline of discourse between prominent creators that updates parallel to a modern-day Holocaust. Yes, that's a lot. It could be a topic worth analyzing on its own, and believe me, it has. And it's because of that I want to do something different. Even though the specifics of this discourse are very important, what I'm additionally worried about that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about is how this being the most prominent discourse right now could be inspiring a lot of the people who view discourse content as a profit margin. To be clear, my investment in this discussion has nothing to do with the actual arguments being made. In regards to the actual discourse of the situation itself, I'm not here to attempt to add any nuance or exploration on that because, in my opinion, Hassan is right and H3 is in the wrong. Because
consider yourself an enemy and a target from here on out of the H3 show.
Their disagreement is on Palestine. I'm not here to put any devil's advocate into understanding their approach because what's happening to Palestine and Gaza is a red line issue.
Influence.
Sorry, I found the clip. What I was telling you guys about earlier, that like at some point it just became, well, I'm going to disagree with whatever Hassan's position is every single time, no matter what, which is like a very weird hill to die on, I guess.
Others to also do right and to defend vulnerable.
This one is the most egregious version.
People, and to show by not just telling but also doing, no matter what the repercussions are. And I think that's that was what was great. Like, he is an inspirational figure, not just inspirational towards human beings, but also towards metahumans and people who are powerful themselves.
He's saying he's respectful to metahumans.
You paused it at the worst possible moment. I could not follow the point he was trying to make.
Because this is what he always does. He's talking nonsense.
Sometimes you're
At Grok, what is a metahuman? At Grok, what's a metahuman? A human with superpowers in the DC universe. He's talking nonsense. He's saying you should respect everybody equally, whether they're humans or metahumans, whether they're humans or superheroes. He's saying nonsense. It makes no sense what he's saying. Oh my God. All right.
Interest in attempting to push any sympathy onto anyone who's willing to defend Zionism. I'm not approaching this story with a pro-Hassan stance. I couldn't if I wanted to. I don't know anything about him. And I'm not approaching this willing to defend H3 because, again, I don't know enough about him to do so. What I do know is their positions on this argument, and I know that Israel is the biggest modern threat to human rights in our generation, which tells me enough about who's in the right here. I can't double down on this enough. There is no defense in Israel that is not rooted in bloodlust and cowardice. So I have no interest in playing both sides or trying to find a compromise here. To redefine what is happening as personal drama, I don't even want to come close to doing that here. And because that is what H3 is doing, I know who I'm against. So yes, when
I mean, yeah, it's like, I mean, I already made this point. It's in the lawsuit, but defending Yoav Gallant by saying that he's like a moderating voice, I think most people see that as attempting to defend Israel's government. And that puts a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Reasonably so. Like, you want to defend the Israelis, go for it. But like, at what point do you realize you've lost the plot when you're at the point where you're defending Yoav Gallant by saying he's a moderating voice?
addressing the specific story, I am going to be biased because it only takes a shred of
I want to listen to this. I want to see how this, let me, 1 second.
empathy to understand that H3 is just one of many apathetic colonists who refuse to think outside their own experiences for even a second, wasting our breathable air, living as human beings in favor of this generation.
Yeah, that's a lawsuit. Yep.
Holocaust.
That's defamation, anti-Semitism, ableism. It's all of the things.
I wanted to make sure that I said that and you know it before we continue, but let's take the specific details here and put them to the side just for a second, because if we're going to understand content around creators disagreeing, we have to understand why creators disagreeing can even be content. Content creators on YouTube have been disagreeing and arguing with each other since the very beginning. I know, arguments on the internet. Try not to be too surprised. It was pretty shocking for myself as well. Online platforms like YouTube, and I mean the internet in general, are centered around expressing the user's opinions, even when they're not explicitly stated. Whether the genre of post is social commentary, comedy skits, how-to tutorials, gameplay, politics, music, movie reviews, literally anything, there's an opinion being expressed by the person uploading the work. And opinions, fundamentally, are going to differ from person to person. So disagreement is inevitable, but it is the degree to which, why am I explaining fighting online? We all know it, we see it every day. But what's important to contextualize is that time changes things. With every passing year, the internet becomes more ingrained with our society, and what is considered standard behavior online evolves alongside with it, for better or for worse. Mostly worse. Whenever anything drama-related tends to start between creators, people tune... Whenever anything even remotely drama-related happens between creators, people tend to stop and tune in. Even if they're not familiar with the creators involved, drama is inherently fun to watch. Meaning that because of the inherent entertainment of disagreeing, what might start as a simple argument between two creators might evolve into something drawing in astronomical attention and views, making the creators' fight all the more public. Previous examples of creators beefing used to be just back and forth uploads responding to each other's arguments. Like, I think this, well, I think this. I would say this to this, or I respond to that with this. Response videos. It was just turn-based uploads for the audience to follow along with to see updates to the argument, and you know that every video there was short and packed with ads because we're talking about influencers here. Even when they're fighting, there's going to be some element of deriving money from it. So the fighting isn't new. We
No, stop.
get that any opinion you might have is going to be met with fighting, but the degree at which the arguing is happening, that has changed. The type
And I mean, I think like that's a major reason why people cared a lot less prior to the lawsuits or even like attempting to sue the Reddit moderators, because as far as people were concerned, it's like, oh, okay, this is just like a larger creator using their large platform to try and silence other creators, like Mika's rhetoric, right? Once you escalate, you can't de-escalate. And I don't think anyone who has their marbles, everyone who has their marbles sees the subpoenas against Reddit and the subpoenas against Discord as just an attempt to stop the criticisms.
You are in good hands.
I mean, he's already talked about how he hates that like the H3 mods, the H3 snark exists, that leftover H3 exists, that he's tired of seeing these people criticize him. And he feels like they're, and he's had this opinion long before the CPS call or whatever, which is what he's claiming is when it started. But he's had this opinion for a very long time. And that's, I mean, that's, the subpoena is a good way to get people scared about talking about him.
of discourse we're seeing, especially here now with Hassan H3, has been influenced by our shifting culture. And there's still just too many large forces that have made our culture violently divisive, ready to explode at a moment's notice. Before we continue, there is an elephant in this room I'd like to address, which people familiar with this topic have picked up on already. But H3 is not this creator's real name, and he doesn't really look like this. I've been blurring his face, and I plan on doing so for
oh my God.
this entire video. The short story is that I don't want to say the creator who's involved, and I know I do that at the cost of a lot of you finding that annoying, but I'm hoping that as the video progresses, you'll start to see why I did this. But for now, I'll state two reasons. The first is that I don't want his name to be used as a keyword in the search for this video and have this profit off of the popularity of the drama. I'm not here to give this person any content to react to, nor am I here to give anyone from
I mean, he still will.
his audience anything to bolster his arguments. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to contribute to their conversation. I'm here for us to analyze what's going on with a broader topic in mind, and I don't want to have my work devalued in that way. The second reason is that, as this video's title implies, there are legal elements going around, and a lot of videos talking about this have been included in threats of defamation lawsuits from channels that are a lot smaller than mine. So, at the risk of sounding selfish, I don't want my video to be included in any court arguments. Like, I can't afford a lawyer right now. Are you kidding me? In this economy? This list of reasons could expand, believe me, but for now, it's enough. So I will be referring to this person as H3 and blurring their face. just in the loose hope that it protects me somehow, legally. But on that note of legal action, let's talk about how H3 has been weaponizing these threats on multiple platforms in order to silence his critics, and how the justice system might be used by creators more often now. Heavy lifting on justice, by the way. The first step of the YouTube and legality world is copyright infringement and fair use. It's base level stuff and has been standard since basically day one, but that makes it ground zero for the nightmare it's becoming today. One of the tactics H3 has been using on YouTube creators who are reporting on this ongoing breakdown is to issue a copyright claim over any clips of his stream the channel might show, reporting it as re-uploaded content. This is partially grounded in a reasonable contention, because posting somebody else's video violates the official YouTube policy on copyright. If somebody makes a video that I like, I can't just download it and post it unedited on my own channel, because that is just stealing. And if my channel is monetized, I might be making money off of somebody else's work. Very understandable stuff. But where this gets dicey is determining just how much of another video you can utilize, which is what H3 is capitalizing on to justify his claim wave campaign. Reposting an unedited video is obviously a violation, but this has led to people disagreeing on how much of a video you can reference and still get away with. Especially with the commentary genre, like what I do here. I might have to show pieces of a video in order to give context or show you what I'm talking about, and technically that is reposting somebody else's work, if you wanted to get very pedantic and technical. YouTube addresses this with its rule on transformative content, meaning as long as a segment of a video is being used as an example within another creator's original work, it counts as being edited. So it's not theft, it's more technically sourcing. However, the public perception of this policy is muddled by the copyright enforcement of movie studios and music labels. Because if you show even a clip of a movie in your video or a tiny segment of a song, that studio or corporation has the grounds to come at you. This miscommunication between what is and isn't claimable led to rumors about a passable amount of a song or a movie being allowed. People claimed you could use 15 seconds of a copyrighted song before the YouTube censors could detect it. But despite that claim catching on, there's no evidence to back up any amount of reuse being safe. But the human spirit is nothing if not stubborn. Most creators will work around this by reviewing movies using only clips from a trailer, or they'll adjust the on-screen visuals or add an audio effect to a song to try and outsmart the detection software. A recent example in the short-form content that you may have seen is the addition of a horizontal line or text-based captions in order to alter the...
I know with the anime react people, they put the video in the tiniest top or bottom right corner to try and get around it so they can watch these episodes and react to them on YouTube. But I'm pretty sure they can only get away with it because the Japanese studios don't really care that much about it, so they don't go out of their way. And, but...
video. It's cluttered, but I'll admit it's a little less invasive than what YouTube has to do. The point being, companies not allowing transformative content at all gave some creators the idea that any amount of their work being shown was available to be claimed. Even if they knew better, they have this option to claim first and feign deniability later. A big part of this is knowing how it really works, but doing it anyway in order to justify your actions to your audience. So we can go ahead and add that to my list of reasons for being vague. It's also worth noting that when you are claiming a video as a creator or studio, you have the option to take the video off completely or to leave it up and simply redirect all of the money it generates to you. This adds another layer onto H3's mass claiming. He's not having the videos be taken down, as all of them are still up. You can go watch them right now. Instead, he's telling his audience it's copyright infringement and defamation, but off screen.
I mean, one correction, the people that are getting sued for copyright, me, Casey, and Frogan did it on Twitch, so he would be doing it through Twitch, not through YouTube.
Is only trying to steal the money it's generating. You can...
And like the YouTube VODs don't generate, sorry, the Twitch VODs don't generate any revenue as far as I know. As far as I'm aware, they only, I think, recently tried to start making VODs on Twitch generate revenue by putting ads in VODs, but I don't think that my channel even has ads. So yeah, it's just not it's not at all comparable to YouTube's system of like ad generating.
Creator claim a video,
Revenue
and YouTube
generating.
will assume you're in the right. And it's not until they manually check it that they might reverse the decision. And by then, you might have already made a lot of money off of it. So on the technical side, these clips of H3s within commentary videos clearly fall under transformative content. But for the audiences unaware of this policy, what H3 is doing is a viable course of action to take and defend. And that isn't the primary problem here, right? I can't blame people for believing H3 if they don't know any better. The issue is that on the creator side of things, what he's doing looks very easy. And if a creator wanted to recreate this action and similarly gaslight their audience, this is telling them that it's still very easy to do. And that isn't even the only legal loophole at play here, because H3 has been relishing publicly the idea of actually officially going after these creators with lawsuits and defamation claims. And right now, it doesn't seem to be going unchecked. One of the elements that really led to this story being blasted into the public perception was the inclusion of defamation lawsuits. But the people already following this and familiar with the people involved understood that this had the ulterior motive of placing a hit. This being H3 threatening to sue and dox the mods of his Snark Reddit. And I'm aware that to the regulated people who are offline, that sentence has a lot of weird fantasy words.
Explaining what an H3 snark mod is, dude, to like a bus driver. I mean, it's further than threatening to sue or / dox, right? I mean, we're at the point now where he's requested to subpoena Reddit and Discord to obtain the identities of 10 specific H3 snark mods.
So don't worry, we'll define all of the stranger words here.
I am very curious to know if like Reddit will grant them. I feel like Discord might, because Discord generally doesn't like to get involved at all. But there's like I feel like a 50-50 on Reddit granting it, considering the comments that like Ethan Klein has made about the Reddit CEO. The comments that he made about Steve Hoffman. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Yeah, this.
There has to be a way to hold Reddit accountable. What do I do?
The answer is not on social media, it's with lawyers and reporters.
My lawyer can't do fucking shit, and it's driving me crazy.
I don't know what to tell you.
They go, oh, 2:30, you can't do anything. Really? I can't believe that. That a website just allows this level of harassment, and it's just like, oh, 2:30, you can't fucking... Is Spaz a snarker?
His name is not Spaz, it's Spez.
Spez. Well, what's his real name? Fuck his Reddit name. A snarker? You think this guy's leaving snark? You think this
No,
guy? You think he's the one that called CP? I'll go there and do a show in front of their fucking office. I'll do what I have to do. I will go and I will fucking stay there as long as I need to, and I'll do the show in front of Reddit headquarters and dedicate every fucking episode to destroying every executive officer there and dragging them to fucking hell. I will drag. That's my point. I no longer care, right? I don't care. I will drag these people into hell with me. That's what I'm saying I'll do. I will go through every fucking detail of this dude's life publicly, and I will fucking...
That's probably not going to win you any favors with it.
Fucking Dan. Hey, man. Hey, boss man. You shouldn't do that. I don't think the Reddit CEO is going to want to cooperate with you in the future when you do stuff like that. I don't think you should do that, man. I don't know. I don't think you should say that you're going to drag them all to hell. I don't know about that, man.
Public information, right? We got no problem with public information. It's not doxing. Let's fucking find out more about Steve Hoffman.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
I'm going to make their lives hell legally, right? That's what I'm going to do. So, and I will get as extreme as I need to, legally speaking. You know what I mean?
I like how the term legally speaking is always used as like in Minecraft. So yeah, I think like
My
I
lawyer
think-
can't do fucking shit.
Contraband, thank you for the 10. Thank you for the 10 gift subs. I think that there's like a 50-50, a solid 50-50 on whether or not Reddit cooperates, because there's a good chance Steve Hoffman has seen that clip. And if I was the CEO of Reddit and I saw that, I wouldn't be very happy with that, personally. Will the judge even allow the subpoenas? I mean, it's hard to say. It's very hard to say. Discord has like sort of an incentive too, because they don't like having extremists on their platform, and they try to be kind of cautious about making sure there aren't any extremists on their platform. So they might cave if they think that they're supposed to, but they might not want to, because then it like opens up more subpoenas against them. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Reddit, I feel like. Huh? What does this mean? If you can't show a minute straight without cuts, then I can believe in that video? Wait, what does this mean? What? That there are like cuts in that live show? So you can't believe it? Huh? I mean, okay, whatever floats your boat, man.
Doxing. This is the act of spreading someone's personal address or information online against their wishes.
Happy Friday, dopamine.
It's really only ever used maliciously with the intention of inviting hurt or harassment onto someone from others. This behavior is a descendant of swatting, which often now includes stream swatting, where people playing video games on public matches would get frustrated and call the SWAT team on their opponents using their IP address. So real soldiers with real weapons treating it like a real threat.
Out of context,
The implication of hurt there is very definitive, and doxing has the same implications of intended violence. In previous creator beefs on YouTube, doxing is something that didn't come up often, so when it did, it was considered an extreme violation. 4 years ago, the creator Frank Hassel was fighting with Boogie2988. He filmed himself showing up to his house, which Boogie countered by coming out with a gun and firing it in the air. This reaction split people, understandably, but they agreed the severity of visiting his home warranted some kind of severe reaction. Anonymous creators and VTubers are constantly dealing with doxing attempts from their fans, but even other creators in the same space have been caught with group chats dedicated to exposing the creators they don't like. And it's understood that in exposing them, they are attempting to go after their careers. 2 years ago, the reaction creator Sniper Wolf doxed the creator Jax Films
I was literally about to bring that up.
home on her Instagram story because she was featured on his side project calling out lazy reactors. This blew up and drew in a lot of contention online, with most people agreeing that Sniper Wolf was way out of line in doing so. So even in these instances in the past, there seems to be this common understanding of this unwritten social rule that no matter what you're arguing about, doxing other creators was a sign that you lose the argument. Creators doxing each other was always seen as unacceptable. Audiences doxing creators has always been seen as them being manic and reprehensible. In all these cases and all others, unless direct harm is at risk, doxing is unacceptable. Mods, short for moderators, specifically on Reddit. These are the users, usually anonymous, who enforce the discussion.
Dean Weathers went too far, sadly. What the... That clip, the crime of that clip was that it was cringe, okay? That was the problem. The problem was that it came off soy. That's why people don't like the Dean Withers clip. That's it. It was soy. That's what it was.
By the individual subreddit rules. Subsequently, Snark page. On Reddit, where you can make community forums about anything, it's common to see larger public figures have a Snark subreddit page made about them, or to be brought up in Snark pages dedicated to non-specific figures in general. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's for being snarky. It's a page where people go to vent their frustrations on a creator, no matter how petty they are, without being worried about community reprimanding. So if a creator has a Snark page, they don't actually have it under their control. It's something assigned to them after reaching a certain level of fame. It's often moderated by fans, or ex-fans, who make sure the posts aren't violent or dangerous, just snark. It's a designated space to have personal, even petty, complaints. When I first heard about this, I just assumed it was another form of internet bullying, but now I would assign Snark subreddits under mean-spirited feedback more so than bullying. You don't go to an influencer's Snark page to read think pieces and consider nuance. It's a designated forum for venting frustrations without it reading like a direct attack. While I'm not in love with the idea in general, and I would personally hate having a Snark subreddit dedicated to myself, I do see the bright side in having one. At worst, it's a central, concentrated area for you to specifically avoid, instead of rolling the dice scrolling through your own YouTube comments. But even if it's mean, it can be a good place to see what your viewers are responding to. It's feedback, even if it's malicious.
I don't like these noises. I don't like these noises. I don't like these noises. I mean, how do I say this? Having dedicated hate watchers has made me a better streamer because it just makes you better at catching things that bad faith actors will misconstrue. So there's a lot of things that I've said on my stream that have been clipped out of context that are like literally you just play for another 20 seconds in the VOD and it makes sense, right? One good example is like, makes you more vigilant. Yeah, I mean, one good example is like the Sneeko thing where it's like, oh, she thought it was a Sneeko fan and it's a Hassan fan. And then you watch a little bit further and I literally say, okay, first of all, I'm talking about his mannerisms. Second, you wouldn't talk about a guy like this. You wouldn't talk about a guy who is acting this way, who's saying like, you're my hero. I'm your biggest fan, bro. Let's take a picture. Let's take a picture. And then earlier, 15 minutes earlier, you don't even know who he is. You're like, Hassan? Anyways, follow Dating and Money. So like what I said was correct, right? But it's like, oh, look, this epic clip. Or a better example also is like the Hassan Nasrallah is based or whatever, and he's reading a chat message. Or even just like me reading people's chat messages and then people pretending like I'm the one that's saying it. Or even the comment about memories in childcare or like child psychology. It's like I literally follow that clip up by saying, one, it doesn't matter whether or not kids even remember shit because you just shouldn't engage in the act of calling CPS on people unless it's the like family vloggers that absolutely are abusing their kids by recording them 24/7 and making videos like, my daughter just got her first period. And it's like a zoom in on her face. Like, what the fuck, dude? This has to be child abuse. This has to be like, you need to stop recording your children. You should not be allowed. Like at that point, when you're filming your children like 24/7, posting about weird, intimate shit that should not get posted on, like you should have, if you are a family vlogger that has ever made a my daughter just got her period video, the state should intervene on people like you because you're sick people. You are a sick person. That's fucking like jail. Okay, straight to jail. Oh my God. Like that shit is crazy. And if you disagree with me, whatever, man, I don't care. We can disagree on this. I think that's disgusting. I think those people are disgusting. I think recording your children without their consent for 24 hours a day and constantly daily uploading about your children and their trauma and putting them in these awkward situations so you can get content, that's fucking creepy. I mean, when Chatter says, I think even child actors are going too far. I agree. I think like, it's cool that child actor protections have gotten better over the years, but even child actors, it's like, I mean, look at Look at Disney or look at Nickelodeon, right? Like, it's fucked. Didn't some family vlog have their kids locked up and one of them escaped and ran away? Yes. 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 It was like after that case, I was like, how is this legal? This should not be legal. This should not be legal. So first of all, about the child memory clip, I literally say one. It also doesn't matter whether or not this, whether or not they are forming memories, because like you shouldn't call it excessively or unnecessarily, and I would not mobilize my audience to do something like that. So that doesn't make any sense. But I even clarify in the clip, I'm like, yeah, when I say you're not forming memories, I mean like you're not forming long-term memories that you will keep forever. I have a couple memories of when I was like under 5. Not that many. And they're not that memorable because childhood amnesia is real. And if you disagree with childhood amnesia, if you think like you retain 100% of your memories, sure, man, you can go ahead and think that. But like generally speaking, most people have very few. Like maybe you can count it on your hands. I also even say in that clip, like 10 seconds later, it's also not the same thing as trauma. Those are different things. Obviously, a traumatic experience will stay with you because even if you don't have the memory of what caused the trauma, you'll still have the trauma, right? And I say all of that in the clip, but it's like the clip is just, it's just the one section where I'm like, oh, they don't form memories at this age. And then I clarify all these other things. I clarify that I don't condone the call. I clarify that when I say don't form, I mean don't form long-term memories. I say that you will form a couple. I have a couple. Most people in here probably have like maybe 5 to 10. Maybe. And I even clarify like that's not the same thing as trauma. But it's like you have like this tiny little clip and it's like, okay, going forward, I should be cautious about like having snark subreddits or having snarkers or having permanent hate watchers. It like fries your brain, but it also kind of unfries your brain a little bit because it makes you better at talking about things. Like I know now, anytime I show something,
family, which he spends no time with while he's in the basement editing.
Every time I show something on stream, or I want to talk about something, I always pull up the clip now. Because it's like, if I say that they have memory issues since they misconstrued what she said. But anytime I'm going to make an accusation against someone, I always make sure to play the clip within like 5 seconds or having it on the screen. Or even just like now when I read chat messages, I always make sure to say, one chatter says, a chatter said consistently. Because it's a lot harder for like the dishonest clippers to be like, oh, see, she was the one saying that. It actually wasn't her reading a chat message. So yeah, it's wild that you have the largest snark subreddit, H3. Dude, I think after the lawsuit was made public, I think they made like 100 posts about me in like a couple days, which is crazy. Which is crazy. Which is actually insane. Sue the dishonest clipper set a precedent, says one chatter. I mean, I defended Extra Emily when she copyright claimed the Twitter Yeet account. Because it's like, dude, at some point, it's like, if there are enough dishonest clippers, if it's all dishonesty, dude. So yeah, I agree. I agree with Duncan here. I think that there is some introspection or like some improvement that you can make, because the positions don't have to be wrong. It could be the phrasing or the framing that's wrong, or not even wrong, but like not concise enough, and you can improve on those things.
A chunk of people are going to hate
It's also the reason why, like, as time has gone on, there have been less and less hate watchers clipping because there's been less and less stuff to clip. Because everything that gets clipped is like, okay, I'm never making that mistake again. Got it. All right, not making that mistake again. Got it. All right, anytime I read a chat message, I'm going to say that a chatter said this. Got it. Okay, if I'm making a criticism against someone and I'm accusing them of something, because if I, in the moment, if I had made the claim about they're crawling around, putting everything in their mouth or whatever, instead of me paraphrasing it, I should have just played the clip. I should have just been like, well, he did say this, and then just play the clip and let him say it instead of paraphrasing it. When I know I'm dealing with people that like have insane hate watchers, It's like, wait, I should just play the clip. I shouldn't even let the words leave my mouth. I should play the clip and then be like, yeah, see, this is pretty fucked up for someone to say that.
You make anyway, and it's the contract all creators sign. So fighting against it is like swimming upstream. My point to this with the larger context is if H3 is mad about him having a snark page, that's understandable. That reaction is just a reaction, and it makes sense. But treating it like a severe threat that warrants you going after it with the legal process is an overreaction, and it is letting it get to you personally when, while letting go of it may be tough, the right thing to do is to ignore it and move on. In this instance, H3's snark page was rising in popularity following his year-long Hassan meltdown, and in response, he labeled it as a personal defamation and claimed he was preparing a lawsuit to sue the moderators specifically. The thing is, there's no legal grounds for that. Defamation is a little more complicated than community-led discussions on someone's behavior, especially if you want to assign the direct violation towards the people reading. And like, the moderators aren't posting the stuff themselves. They're usually just making sure, like, despite the heat H3 is throwing at the moderators, I think that he knows this.
My lawyer can't do fucking shit, and it's driving me crazy.
I don't know what to tell you.
They go, oh,
I like how I really like that. The censorship makes me feel like I'm watching one of those true crime documentaries.
2:30, you can't do anything. Really? That I can't believe that. That a website just allows this level of harassment, and it's just like, oh, 2:30, you can't fucking. That's
2:30.
Section 230. They can't be held responsible for what their users post.
But in following through with a lawsuit, these moderators of the snark page would have to appear in court.
In some sense, we are. You're not wrong.
Effectively revealing who they are for H3 to see. I think the play here is to dox the moderators with the intention of intimidating them to leave. This would either lead to the forum getting shut down, or it would intimidate the rest of the people participating to abstain from it, because H3 now has this precedent set that he'll come after you. And H3 has demonstrated that they have no issue with doing this to people. So I don't think it's crazy to imagine that if they were in court and they found out who these people were, they wouldn't keep that to themselves. You know what I mean? They'd probably share it. The snark page is bothering him, so he's going after the people in charge of it and intimidating the rest of the people to leave it alone. I can't prove that that's what he's doing here. I can't say that's definitely what's going on. But it's not unbelievable. We can go ahead and add doxing to my list of censorship reasoning. Because, like, I don't want to be doxed. And you don't want to dox me. I'm inside in my attic.
Ooh, you don't want to dox me so bad.
Editing all day. I'm never out. You won't find me. And even if you found my apartment, I live in a busy street. It's like a crowded area. You'd have to park far away and walk to my place, probably uphill. It's a hassle, and nobody wants that. Besides, I might boogie you. So H3 has no problem going after the individual viewers of people who disagree with him, even if they might be his former audience. But he's not the one going after them, right? What he's doing is opening the floodgates for his audience to go after them. And as it turns out, audience brigading is another bad precedent to set. I am sorry for butchering my lines. If there's anything H3 wants to take me to court on, the grounds of being a bad YouTuber, viable. The reason H3 is using all of his social medias and upload content to cover this story is for the purpose of keeping his audience up to date.
Please, the sound,
On his
please.
side. If nobody agreed with him, this amount of focus dedicated onto other people's opinions is sad and pathetic. And it still is, but his fans see it as warranted, as they believe his claims of him being under constant attack. Keeping this story relevant over this amount of time is reliant on his—
Wait, calling it a dice roll SFX actually makes me like it. Hold up. Wait. Why are more people making us think about the fact that the same day that Dan Kent's stream threatened to dox Gato Fumadar is also the same day it was confirmed that Ethan sent them papers? Well, I mean, Ethan's already admitted that he's friends with Dan. And they already, like, sponsor the show. So I'm not super surprised about that. Right? I did see some of this story unfold, which was like, I'll just read out what Gato tweeted out. Ethan Klein continues in his megalomaniac campaign to use his wealth and influence to silence those who dare expose his endless lies and abuse. Most recently, Klein has decided to threaten me personally with frivolous legal action as a pretense to dox me, in part hoping to shame me for having placed my career on hold to serve as my chronically ill father's round-the-clock dialysis caregiver. I'm completely unashamed to have done this for my dad, grateful for the time we spent together and the opportunity to get to know him in the last years of his life, and whose passing just a few months ago has not been without its emotional, financial, and legal difficulties, as anyone who's lost a parent likely knows. Unfortunately for Ethan Klein, I remain undeterred and unintimidated. Thank you to everyone who's reached out with messages of kindness and support. It's been truly overwhelming, and I'm resolved to continue exposing Klein's repulsive behavior for the world to see and fully intend to face down whatever challenges, legal or otherwise, Evil Psycho wants to send my way. And like, I'm thinking of the phrasing that I would like to use here. Let me pull it up. It kind of hits the way that like Pirate Software's content or like Pirate Software's controversy hits, where dude, I would be so happy if I was Pirate Software. And the thing that people made fun of me for the most was just Managem. Like that's how people made fun of me. They just said Managem at me. I would laugh my ass off. I would make it an emo. Like I would meme about Managem all the time. I'd make it my sub alert. Like that's, you take those W's. When you start getting mocked on the internet for something funny, you take those W's. Oh my God. He has muted in his chat. No. And I mean, like, that's why I was like, on my Twitter and on my Instagram, I'm like, okay, fine. You guys want to call me a whore? Now what? Now what if I say I'm going to slut it up? Then what are you going to do? Call me a whore some more? Like, you take like power away by reclaiming the insult and making fun of yourself and having fun with it, right? So like recognizing that that people are making fun of you in this way and that it's like it could be much worse. Life could be way worse. Just lean in and own it. Right? You can't say Yeah. Why is muted in chat? I assume it's not out of mana. No, it is. It is. It was banned. It's banned in his chat because it stands for out of mana because he ran out of mana. Anyways, yeah, armor yourself with it and they can't hurt you with it. Exactly. Ooh. But anyways, I have hate watchers every stream. Hassan has hate watchers every stream. There are clippers in every stream. Like the second I make any comment that can be posted on LSF or can be posted on Twitter or can be posted on any of these subreddits, it will get posted. And if you engage in that behavior, like you encourage this behavior by having like a subreddit like H3 Productions that does this, it feels weird to be upset when other people criticize you and clip you and make fun of you, right? Because I feel bad for the people who don't engage in any controversy whatsoever and they really do try their best to like mind their own business and not engage in the internet wars. Like that's why I feel like I simp for Pokey. Because I feel like she tries pretty hard to not get involved and they still clip her anyways. And it's still like, oh, bad take, Sweaty. Look, she said broke boys. Oh, look. And it's like, dog, she could like wipe her ass and they'd be like, I bet that's not organic tissue paper. I bet she uses one ply because she's disgusting. I bet she wouldn't even sell it to any of her fans. Not that I'm one of them, but this is unbelievable. Like she could literally say anything. and people will be mad. Right? And it's sort of the same thing, or not the same thing, but like if you're now, if you're actually controversial because you like to make fun of other people and you like to attack other people or you like to farm other people for content, it feels very weird to then get upset that it's happening to you. Especially if you ever make fun of or attack content creators that haven't really beefed with you at all. So like, I don't know, I don't remember why. And I don't think that there ever was a good reason, but he like, Ethan Klein at one point made fun of Markiplier's voice and was like, he's faking his voice. He's faking it. It's like, why? Why are you beefing with one of the most well-loved content creators on YouTube? This is so weird to do. Huh? And then when these people respond, so like, for example, like beefing with Hassan and insisting on beefing with Hassan for like months, and then Hassan fans start clipping you because you're the one that's been going in first. Is that not like the reasonable conclusion to this? And then getting upset that it's happening. So what, you start suing these people? It's what you always say about Asmon. I mean, literally, yeah. Literally what I say about Asmongold. Like, I will live and die by this sword, but like, Asmongold is a good example of someone who dishes it out, but he also kind of takes it. Like, you know, this account, this Gato account, has definitely called Asmongold a mom killer, a mom murderer. And guess what? Asmongold hasn't tried to sue him. He's just like, this guy's a piece of shit. Because that's like, that's the internet. If you are a controversial person and you go after other people and you make fun of other people and you harass other people or target them or make fun of them or whatever it is that you particularly do, people are going to respond proportionally, right? People are going to, in this case, this guy calls Asmongold a mom killer. Asmongold makes like a video and makes fun of him and says like, yeah, whatever, loser. Hope you get sued or whatever. But he's not the one that's personally going to do that because it's a waste of time and energy. It's like, it's also hypocritical because if you can't take the heat, why are you in the kitchen? Why are you dishing it out? Right? You. My dude, thank you for the 29 months. All right. Okay, sorry. I was getting distracted. But yeah, these posts were this was crazy. This was I don't even know what words to use other than this was a crazy post. He posted on his story, Ethan Klein posted on his story, in today's age of rapidly improving technology, anonymity is nearly impossible to maintain, even for a throwaway Twitter account. For example, the operator behind this account is a 37-year-old single male who's currently unemployed and living with his parents, who's named Censored. You don't need to know his name. He just needs to know that I do. This person is clearly down and out, and it's a shame that instead of improving his life, he's dedicated all his time and energy into snarking with strangers on the internet. Now, as a result of his unforgivable attacks on my family, his outlook is even more bleak. He's facing down a lifetime of soul-crushing debt and litigation. He doesn't have a wage now, but if he ever does crawl out of his mother's yellow-walled basement, I will be garnishing every cent he earns for the rest of his life. This is like, dude, if I ever start posting like this, you guys got to tell me, okay? You guys got to tell me that the marbles are gone. What if you don't believe us? I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope it never comes to that, dude. I hope it never comes to that. And then tweeted out some more stuff. There's a handful of attack dogs that operate similarly on Twitter for the benefit of Hassan Piker and Taylor Lorenz. They know who they are. I have the time and money to find each and every one of you as you've reveled in your anonymity as a means to defame me and attack my family and children. I now revel in shining a light on the pathetic corner of the internet where you exist, and I'm coming for all of you. In the meantime, censored his name. You'll be hearing from me soon. I have the honor to be your obedient servant, Ethan Klein. Can you imagine if I started tweeting like this about like the Yeet account? The marbles would be gone. Instead of just like laughing at the Yeet account for being 14 years old. I mean, I think the appropriate response is to be like, don't you have some math homework to do? Don't you have some math homework to do? At Denims, was the skulls thing fake, says one chatter. I don't know because I didn't follow the story well enough. I know Bad Empanada did like a video on it. I know that Taylor Lorenz published like some photos of some photos that like Ethan had sent her of like the box on their counter, and the box said like skull on it. It said something museum. I'm trying to remember what the text was. Yeah, the box was like pretty big and it said skeleton museum on it. And then the inside there were two smaller boxes that said real human skull on it. And a lot of people think that it's fake, or they think that they sent it to themselves because the story doesn't match up, because they claimed that Ethan thought that the box was computer parts for Dan. But it would be bizarre for like a box titled Skeleton Museum and then two smaller boxes titled Real Human Skull. It'd be weird if those were computer parts. So that like part of the story makes people really confused, which makes people suspicious about the skull story. Again, that's all I know about it. I didn't care to look into it because the entirety of it was very obviously like wanting, the reason he brought it up was because he wanted people to talk about it so that he could clip them and say like, look, what would they do this? How could they do this? Look, they're talking about it, right? So it was bait. It was bait. And I was like, you know what? Listen, other people want to engage with it. Please engage with it. But yeah, later on, I think the people thought that it was weird that he said that he thought it was computer parts, when the photos that I think Taylor Lorenz showed were like, it said Skeleton Museum on it and it said real human skull. So why would you think that those were computer parts? I guess like, you know, those people that put like anime figurines inside of their PCs. Maybe that's what he thought. He thought Dan was going to put like a skull inside of his PC, like one of the hardest skulls on the planet. Or sorry, hardest PC setups on the planet. Did they ever get the PC part? I don't know. I didn't follow this. I didn't follow this at all. Again, I just I clocked it immediately as being bait to get people to talk about it. Because I was like, okay. I have Darth Vader in my PC. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Okay. Yeah, this was... Dude, imagine if I was talking like this about the Yeet account. Oh my God. And I have at least one dedicated hate watcher that's made like over 5 accounts just to clip and post immediately to LSF. And they've been posting. They've been posting on the same Reddit account. I only found out about this last week. They've been posting on the same Reddit account clips of me on LSF for, I'm not joking, the entirety of my streaming career. And God bless, my mods have been banning that account, the accounts that are associated with those clips. And then he just makes like a new one. It's so creepy. Oh my God. And then they're like posting old clips of me being like, she used to be so much different. She used to be so much more innocent. I'm like, ugh, ugh, ugh. Oh God, I'm gonna throw up. Ew. Ew. They're probably in here right now. Anyways. All right.
Fans feeling like they've been drafted into this war for his credibility. But is this really about approval? His fans already like him. He's trashed the hope of the involved creators respecting him. Is that really what all of this has been for? I can at least attest that personally seeing H3 dedicate so much of his time towards extending the coverage of this story makes me question if this is really about preserving his dignity or boosting his arguments. I mean, if so, a lot of this time could be better spent, right? And to be honest, I don't think this should be our primary focus, as we want to know what damage this will do to the creator space, more so than why he's doing what he's doing. But they could always have something to do with each other. So, okay, this definitely is driven by the personal vendetta, and the end goal here seems to be dominating his opponents. Checks out, sure looks that way. But if we're looking about this behavior and think about what might inspire other creators to repeat it, that isn't enough. Reputations are certainly prioritized online, but plenty of creators have no problem debasing themselves and their reputations for money. Oh, that's it. I got it. The lasting effect this will have on the creator space is going to have to do with money. It's not impressive, but where I'm landing is that if other creators are going to ever copy pages from the playbook of events we're seeing here, it's going to be done so in the hopes of recreating the profits being generated. Now, I don't believe H3 is pretending to care about this just to grift. With the size of his platform, he does not need money that badly. He is fighting to the death about his opinions, and all for his ego. He's a narcissist. It's petty and emotionally driven, but the money aspect isn't small enough to overlook. For example, the lawsuits. H3 is definitely doing this for his ego, but he also seems determined to take money from these creators. One of these lawsuits that H3 seemed particularly focused on was accusing the streamer Denims over an alleged anonymous CPS call on his family.
That's me.
And when he was playing over his footage on stream, he intentionally moves his own camera to cover up Denim's chat while an edited version stayed uncovered.
I believe this is
Soy.
a live feed of the chat. This wasn't edited.
What about the top right? I thought these were...
No, it's this. I think when you full screen it. No, this is an edit. It's a cutout of the full chat. It's just enlarged.
Oh, really?
Over the screen, yeah.
Did you catch that last clip? Yep, his own employee just tried to show him that he's wrong, and he ignored it because he's lying. At this point, I don't know if he's watched a single real video of me.
Which is enough proof that he's lying to anyone reasonable. But the fact
Hey, who's that? I bet she's a really cool streamer. Mom, get the camera. Mom!
He is still pressing on with these lawsuits, despite overwhelming evidence and him being extraordinarily shady. Additionally, Noah Samson, one of the YouTube commentary creators who H3 claims to be suing for defamations, recently hosted a week-long fundraising event stream to send aid to Gaza, raising nearly $550,000.
Which is fucking insane, by the way. Huge shout out to Noah. Raising $500,000 for Gaza was crazy. That was insane.
$1,000 from his community, which, side note, this is an incredible accomplishment to achieve, and it makes me so happy to see.
Look, it's me again.
The community pool what they can for what is painfully obvious to me as the right cause to support. I don't
know, but I heard she's friends with a lot of baddies. That is true. All my friends are baddies. All my friends are crazy baddies.
Especially proud of everyone who is able to send aid, and even though I might be biased, I believe Noah making this happen makes him one of the top commentary creators on the platform. H3 would disagree with that, though.
I don't know how many of you know who this guy Noah Samson is. He started his second video by saying, "It's threatened to sue me." It's not a threat. I'm going to sue you.
Oh.
Wait.
I'm literally going to sue you for defamation.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, Noah raising money to help the victims of Gaza is secretly all about insulting him. So, it leads H3 to say this.
To be
Nope.
fair, the timeline on this was the other way around, where Noah made a video about content creators defending, in his words, defending a genocide by running propaganda for Israel, essentially. That was Noah's accusation of Ethan Klein, and he made a video about it. And it's very weird to accuse like Noah of like farming or like just doing it, because this was another thing that came out from like a lot of fans as well, or like anti-fans rather, that he was only doing it just to like to make money or to like profit or to get clicks on it, which is a really weird criticism of Noah Samson, because he's been making videos on Gaza since October 7th. And he's consistently covered this. Like, if anything, his content has become predominantly focused on Gaza. And he used to do a lot more like slop and like engaging with slop creators in a not respectful way, but in a responsible way, where he'll like revisiting black pill content, and then he'll break down the things that he thinks are wrong with it or good about it or whatever, anti-wokeness, etc. This was a good video. But after October 7th, he started making a lot more content about Gaza, about Palestine, about Israel, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 videos in the past like year. And that's like the majority of his videos. I mean, literally look the other way around. 12 days ago, he dropped a video on Gaza. The one before that was also about Gaza. The one before that was about Hassan Piker and Bad Empanada's debate. And then this one was about Zionism with Chris Kunzler. This one was about Israeli diplomats. This one was about the lawsuit with Ethan Klein, which is irrelevant because it was one of the things that I think ended up drumming up the response to, or the charity stream. And then again, like, this is the vast majority of this content is about Gaza. And he happened to make one video talking about, it's titled "The YouTubers Who Backed a Genocide." 1.3 million views. And I've always said this. I think if you care about an issue, a great way to get more people to care about it is to engage with like the slop and engage with like the pop culture and bring in like normies who otherwise maybe wouldn't have engaged, right? So he also has talked about how he didn't feel right doing content on other topics when a genocide is happening. So yeah, so he made this video on a couple people, obviously Ethan Klein included, and then Ethan Klein threatened to sue him, and then he did his fundraising stream.
I just did this massive fundraiser, and let's say hypothetically I'm planning to sue a bunch of these people. They just keep raising money because Noah's like, let's prove to you that we can raise the money to fight this lawsuit, which is fine. Like I said, I prefer them raise the money so that I know that at least there's something left when I win, right? Man, that's just math. That's just logic. That money's coming to me eventually, so it's good. If he was bankrupt, I wouldn't collect it all. So in a way, it's good for me that he's crowdfunded.
You can't see it because I've smudged out his face, but this man is salivating at the thought of taking all of the money Noah and his community raised for Gaza. He plays it off as a joke, but there's nothing suggesting that this isn't his actual plan. Even his little podcast minion over there points out how disturbingly greedy he sounds, to which H3 just sloppily course corrects and drops the topic.
So in a way, it's good for me that he's crowdfunded. But I do think it's
But
funny.
he's not crowdfunding for his lawsuit.
No, what he said, I'm going to crowdfund, but I'm doing it to prove that we can. Like I said, instead of crowdfunding for the lawsuit, I'm going to crowdfund for Gaza.
But that's like an actual good cause.
Yes, it is.
So what?
So what's funny though is that he's asking his audience to chip in to prove, right, that he can crowdfund.
It doesn't prove anything.
But
the sort at all.
There's got to be a limit. Like he can't go. You think he's going to go?
Well, also, more people are obviously more willing to give to a cause than going to a good cause versus some dude's lawsuit.
Yeah, totally. That too. But like at the end,
what is it?
It's awesome. I think it's fucking great.
10 out of 10 is what?
10 divided by 10 is what I learned in boarding school is.
Again, there's no doubt I have that H3 is in this primarily for his own ego, but he keeps circling back on the financial aspects of it. Whether that's around his gain or their loss, I'm unsure. Remember back earlier in this video when I was talking about old creator conflicts doing back and forth reaction videos, and I noted that they were all loaded with ads to mutually profit from the drama? Every podcast episode has ads turned on, and most have sponsors. The constant Instagram stories convince his audience to show him support by watching the streams, which increases the income per view. And for the drama creators watching and taking notes, they're not engaging with whether or not H3 ego survives. They want to know if he's making money. So whether or not this is his ulterior motive, H3 is making bank from all of this. And that makes the harassment and vitriol he's caused everyone else all the worse.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. The craziest thing that's happened as of recently has been like the nonstop coverage of Anissa and iDubbbz. This is crazy. The iDubbbz divorce arc has begun. Dude. Bro, what? Bro, what? But I don't know, maybe when the content is... I get it, dude. There are some droughts. There are content droughts sometimes, but like... I mean, this was like his first video that almost hit a mil in like a little bit. And Ian and Anissa's boxing coach calls in live, shocking new details. And like this live shocking new details were like, hey, well, you know, she made a joke about pegging him. Well, actually, they wanted to fire this coach because he was engaging in a lot of weird traumatic comments. Actually, did you know that Ian was dating a MILF once? It's like, oh, what? I thought this was about Creator Clash. What is happening? Oh, what the fuck? What am I watching? Oh my god. There's an anti-iDubbbz industry on YouTube, same as the anti-Hassan industry. I've seen a few about YouTube, but nowhere near as much. No, the anti-iDubbbz industry is crazy. It's booming. It's like, it's insane. It's actually insane. Are they actually getting divorced? No. 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 They're just making this shit up. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Listen, the day that like iDubbbz gets a tattoo of Anissa's face on him, then I'll be concerned. Then I'll be like, girl, what's happening? Like, just, you know, you can confide in me. I will. I'm here to help. Okay? Yeah, no, I don't. That's so weird. It's so it's also like it's it's very funny watching like the framing of like people online about people that they don't know and about relationships that they don't know. I'm blanking, but there was something I wanted to mention. Like, I remember the way that they framed it on the podcast was like, Anissa forced iDubbbz to get diagnosed with ADHD, and she forced him to take drugs. And it's like, what the fuck? You don't think it's way more likely that the person with ADHD is like, no, it's fine. I just can't get anything done, and I'm never motivated to do anything, and I definitely don't have the mental energy to ever try and book an appointment to go get diagnosed for anything. And that the person with ADHD would have their partner make the appointment for them because they have ADHD. way to show that you're talking about people that you've never hung out with or met ever. Oh my god. Like that's just it's like the people that are like ADHD meds are super, super addictive. Meanwhile, every ADHD person I know who's medicated always forgets to pick up their medication and is like, I have to go a week without it because I forgot to pick it up and there's a shortage. So like, I've just been fried. I've been doing like one task and then laying in bed. I'll pick it up eventually once it's ready, but I don't. How did I forget? One chatter says me getting diagnosed for ADHD 4 years ago and still not having set the schedule to find a psychiatrist to get meds because it's too much effort. It was literally me last week. I'm a one-task Wanda sometimes when my energy is low. I mean, yeah. You don't get it, Denims. The doctor forced this patient to take heart medication so he doesn't go into cardiac arrest. What a bitch. Yeah. And then it's like, it's also very bizarre because if you've talked to people who have taken ADHD medication after not being medicated for a long time, the way they describe it is like, whoa, I went from never doing or wanting to do anything and being incapable of doing more than one task to like being capable? What the fuck? You mean my whole day doesn't have to revolve around the fact that I have a 3 o'clock appointment? Wait a minute, this is crazy. Wait, this is dope. And like that was from the very short conversation I had, like that seems like what Ian's experience was, where it was like, wow, actually getting this diagnosis helped a lot. It's like, no wonder working on videos is so hard and dealing with this shit is so much time and effort and way more effort than it seems like everybody else is dealing with. Wait, this is dope. Literally, is this how you guys live every day? Yeah. Yeah. Chatter says, within a year of being diagnosed, I've made so many more friends, applied to go back to college. Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen Dr. K's video / short on ADHD medication versus psychotherapy? No. Can you link it? It is really funny, like having ADHD and then realizing like realizing it's like, oh, you mean all these like fun little things that I do to get myself to be accountable are actually just like dealing with the ADHD? Oh. Huh. You mean gamifying everything in my life because that's the only way I can do anything is not maybe totally normal? Oh, I see. I get it. Oh, God. Anyways.
Because he's earning money off of their expense. And what he's doing to brew audience engagement and nursing their resentment towards these creators is vital to the process. And keeping them engaged with every minuscule update is what keeps the money printing machines charged. Posting over a year of constant uploads regarding this. Video after video. Instagram story after Instagram story. Day in and day out. Day in, day in. Oh, I must have.
Yeah, this is the craziest experience, by the way. Like going on Instagram to like post a little cute story, being like, I got some brunch with my friends.
And the next day, and the next day,
and the next day,
and the next day, and the next day,
and the next day,
and the next day.
That one needs to be said in SpongeBob's voice, or is it Mr. Krabs? I don't remember. Yeah, I was having a fun little like lunch moment with some friends that I haven't hung out with in a while. I'm like, oh yay, I'm posting on my Instagram. I'm trying to be better about posting online. I'm like, yay, posting. And then I obviously when you finish posting, it's like, oh, I guess what else is here? And then it's always like 20 different Instagram stories. And it's always so much text. I'm like, oh, dude. Every time I open Instagram just to post a story or to post something, then I see a million different stories. Like, oh man, dude. Oh, hi, Raiders! Majority Report Raiders. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We were just watching this video from Kuncan Dastner.
MR is over just in time to share my 4 Mo's.
Yay! Thank you for the Prime, Scam Sham. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, Raiders. Well, I wanted to finish this video. We only have a little bit left in it, talking about like litigation and content creation. I wouldn't know anything about that. Ha ha ha. Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha.
Falling asleep while filming. That is embarrassing. Nope. No, it's been 2 weeks since I filmed. There's probably been some updates in the case since then. Yeah, he announced he's suing 3 creators who reacted to his 2-hour hate video on Hassan, got mad they were fundraising money for legal fees, admitted he only did it to harass them, threatened to add another lawsuit unless they apologized, which is illegal and extortion, and is planning on using his own money to wait out the case, slowly bankrupt them, essentially paying money to showcase them as targets for his audience to gleefully threaten them with torture and abusement. It's Ethan Klein, the dude we've been talking about, the guy who runs the H3 channel, the H3 podcast. It's Ethan Klein. He's known for wearing a lot of beanies in 2016, having an N-word compilation dedicated to him, and Zionism. Within his career online, Ethan once was in a similar position where he was being sued for defamation by someone, and he seems to have taken all the wrong lessons from that and decided to apply it here for his own benefit.
It's like those with money in the legal system
have the ability to destroy and bully and just defeat people on the grounds of I have more money, and you never would have a chance of defending yourself. It's obscene, guys.
Ethan, if you are somehow watching this, I humbly volunteer to be sued by you. It would be a privilege to be the first white man in your official list of lawyer go-get-ems. I may be irrelevant based on you and everyone else you're suing, but life is short. What do you have to lose? Add me to the list. I would love to go toe-to-toe with you, and honestly, if you want to skip the court thing, we could just fight if you wanted. The point this video was originally
Creator combat winner gets sued.
Building towards is that creators nowadays are relying too much on harassing in order to solve their problems for them. That's what this was about. The doxing, the audience brigading, all of this was going to lead towards the larger picture of harassment and weaponizing an audience to torture your opponents into submission. And that's bad. I don't like it, and I wish the point of the video was that. Just quit it, everyone. But unfortunately, the discourse happening right now is about to set the stage on whether or not this harassment transcends audiences and starts becoming more infused in real-world consequences.
If you thought I was joking, I hope those 3 copyright lawsuits put that thought to rest, because every one of you motherfuckers that I said I'm coming for, that I hold responsible, guess what? It's only a matter of time.
If content creators, or really anybody who posts anything, gets the idea that they can have their opinion met with an opposing one, and they can fight it with lawsuits and lawyers and audience brigading, there is going to be no cap to where this can stretch. And larger point aside, that doesn't change the fact that Ethan is clearly running these lawsuits against the creators in order to just drain them of their money and slowly bankrupt them with law fees. And hopefully even his diehard supporters will see how petty.
I mean, before this case, it was pretty much across the board agreed on that any DMCAing of other content creators was unjustified unless they were unless they make another YouTube channel and they just directly re-upload it, right? In my case, where I added 2 hours of commentary, that's not what's happening. So they've instead tried to like nail people on this very arbitrary rule that isn't relevant because intent is not a factor. Whether or not something is a market substitute factors, but intent doesn't factor into that necessarily. When they've tried to be like, well, it was a bad faith. It was malicious. You were stealing because you said you were. But again, it's not like, this isn't murder where you state an intent to murder and that's the same thing. That's its own crime. That's not how that works, right? Whereas, again, prior to this, the idea of DMCAing anyone or the idea of suing someone over something like this was unbelievably unpopular. And I promise you, I absolutely promise you, if XQC had said in his live show, like, yeah, we're watching this so you don't watch Ethan Klein, or if Asmongold had said that, and they watched the entirety of it, and then they got sued, the internet would look very different right now. It would look very, very different. Absolutely. Half the people more than all the people cheering it on right now would not be feeling that way. Even if Asmongold had said directly, and Asmongold morons who can't engage with a hypothetical will say, well, he would never say that. It's like, it's a hypothetical, you fucking idiot. Engage with the hypothetical for a second. If Asmongold had directly said, oh, I don't support this creator, so I don't want to give them views, and I don't think you guys should give them views either. And so I'm going to stream it, and yeah, fuck that guy or whatever. If he had said that, and then he got sued, his audience would say, well, you're allowed to disagree with someone and not want them to profit. It's called free speech. It's called the First Amendment. You're allowed to disagree and you're allowed to like make scathing pieces about someone and disagree with them and pull content away from them. You're allowed to do that. But it's because it's like, it's easy targets that more people aren't making a big deal about this. When more people should be making a big deal about this. Because if, for example, my content is not fair use, there's nothing on the internet that is fair use. There's no type of React content on the internet that's fair use. If adding an extra 2 hours of content isn't fair use, nothing is. Exactly what Leafy and them said about Pokey, correct. Absolutely correct. Also, weren't you in the video as well? I mean, yeah, because of the tier list. So like, these are all very important details. And these are all very important for like public support on the internet. Because again, if anyone other than us three was in there, like if XQC was in there, if Asmongold was in there, if any large male creators were in there, maybe outside of Hassan, it would look very different. Even if they had made very explicit claims, the defenses would look different. But none of these people care right now because they're like, oh, well, actually, this matters, even though I don't know anything about this topic at all, and I haven't researched this at all. You just mentioned Leafy in 2025, yeah.
And cruel this is, of course they don't. I hope this is fake, but it looks like some of them are being inspired by this to the point of wanting to do the same themselves. They feel attacked for supporting someone and being judged by others when that someone turns out to be a screwball. These creators should not have to be bombarded by legal fees for having an opposing opinion to Ethan. That's why they reacted to his video, because in this economy of creators, everyone's reacting to videos. His claim that they didn't react enough is insane, especially coming from him. For anything to change, we need platforms like YouTube and Twitch themselves to do or say something. And platform giants don't like getting involved when their reputations could be damaged. So unless one of you has like a phone number for a higher up at either of these companies, they're probably going to stay silent. What we can do as individuals is make sure that the audience reaction to this is pretty universally heard. Support these creators and any future ones caught up in these lawsuits if you can. Call out the disingenuous behavior on display when it comes up, online or offline. If you are a creator yourself, please, respectfully, put some goddamn elbow grease into condemning Ethan's actions here, because we are all about to be affected by this if it continues this way. Free speech online, as we know it, is about to be rewritten in order to cater to people who want to run crying to their lawyers. But joking aside and beyond all else, what frustrates me to no end is the fact that this is all stemming from unimportant creator drama. It is an important result coming from an unimportant spat that started in the first place because of a real-world genocide. The fact that we are all having to even spend our time thinking about Ethan Klein when Israel is bending history to its whim right now is completely unacceptable.
It was really funny that when I demanded a retraction from Ethan Klein, which was super worth it because he did end up saying like, oh, you know what? I didn't accuse her of this and I would never accuse her of this, but because that's crazy. I would never accuse her of CPS, even though I did, but I would never do that. And I'm still not doing that. And I don't think that she told her audience to do it either, which was like massive W, by the way, insane W collection. Everyone on the internet, on that side of the internet, was like, isn't there a genocide happening? How dare you ever talk about anything else when there's a genocide happening? And now that he's suing people in what I believe is frivolous, suddenly there's no conversation about that anymore. So bizarre. So weird that suddenly that talking point is out the window.
Acceptable. It's unreal.
It's like the vote blue no matter who Democrats suddenly deciding it's not vote blue no matter who when Mamdani will win, when Mamdani's on track to win the mayoral race in New York.
Cannot believe the creator space has become connected with this, of all things. The important part of this story is the potential risk of losing ground on free speech online. The unimportant part is Ethan Klein. It doesn't matter what specific creator is doing this. And even that pales in comparison to the loss of life. That is the most important thing. Please continue to support the creators and public figures who are vocal about this. Don't let intimidation tactics from media platforms, Zionist YouTubers, or even the US government stop you from advocating for what your core itself knows to be true. It's simply not.
Is New York a good place to live in? Hell yes. Hell yes.
Worth the silence. Even if I am sued for every dollar, banned from every social media, or even detained by a flimsy acting government, I'm doing it having stood my ground for what I believe in. I'm hoping you'd all be willing to do that too. Free Palestine. Protect free speech online. Fuck you, Ethan. See you in court. Or not. Well, everyone, that's my time. Thank you for watching. Sorry this took so long to make. I will hurry up and immediately get started on the next one, so it does not happen again.
Damn, dude. I like how he, in classic YouTuber fashion, it took so long to make the video that by the time he finished the video, it was like, actually, you know what? No, I'll commit to it. Fuck yeah.
You are my best friend. You are the rent payer. You are the legend. Thank you, Ethan Klein. You are my best friend.